Hello, everybody. What is going on? It is time. It's Thursday. You know what that means. I'm Dezzie. And
Dean.
Steenie. What's going on, everybody? Dezzie and Dean. You're looking at Dynamite with Dezzie and Dean here, the AEW review show with the mostest. We are here today reviewing AEW Fyter Fest night number 2. How are you doing today, Dean? Let's start that off with that.
I'm all gravy, brother. All gravy. Feeling good. It's rained all day. Got a bit wet, but not wrong with that. Well,
That's
yeah.
great, man.
Looking forward to talking about the show with you.
I'm the fries and the curds, man. Together we are the poutine. So that's good, man. We are the poutine of AEW. We're going to keep that one going.
Cheese and gravy. Cheese and gravy. That's not a thing.
Cheese and gravy.
That's not a thing.
What? That is totally a thing, bro. That is absolutely a thing.
Just have chips and gravy. I'm all over it.
But then you throw the cheese in that. No.
Yeah, and then you're like, what is this? You've ruined a perfectly good meal. Anyway.
Oh no. The poutine is falling apart already. John is
Taryn's going to be fuming.
One. Yeah, Taryn's fuming when she hears this one here. We're starting off with a poutine war here on Dezzie and Dean, Triple D. So we're going to kick right into it here. We started off Fyter Fest night number 2 with a pickup match. This match actually was not scheduled to happen on the original 2 cards, but due to the title match, Jon Moxley, Brian Cage, being moved off the card, we got this put together. Private Party won the match last week over Best Friends, so now they're going against Omega and Page. So for the titles, right? So here we go. So watching Omega and Page, this is just more of the same from me here. Just watching them wrestle is just something great. I just can't get enough of it. They've got such good ring presence together. They know the placements is what it just comes down to, I think, is what I have in my notes here. And that last call finisher is so sick. I think it was good for a last minute filler match. I don't know exactly what I was expecting out of it. I don't know if I would have started the show with it even. I know Private Party's super over, but I don't know. We'll see. What do you think, Dean?
I don't know how over the hour with me. I felt like it went okay match. It was fine for me. Like you say, no, I think I wouldn't say boring, but beginning, no investment from me at all. I don't believe Private Party are ever going to win, nor do I want them to win. So I was a bit like, But then it picked up. They did wake me up with that nice sequence when Hangman powerbombed Mac, went into the crowd, turned around and got booted by Isaiah Cassidy into the crowd. And then he did that sick springboard where he went from the inside of the ring over the top rope, landed on the second rope and flipped into him. That was a great little sequence. That got me into the match a bit more. And like you say, great teamwork from the champions. I love Hangman's aggressive style he's got nowadays. Like the powerbomb, you see the powerbomb on Quen onto Isaiah Cassidy. Like he brought him down with some force. And Cassidy, he's only a skinny guy. There's no give there. I just felt bad for him in that moment. So I do And I think with Private Party, we said before, sometimes they look a bit green. Sometimes things like the silly string, they're a bit contrived, them sort of moves, aren't they? And they feel a bit like stuttery, starty. But they've got talent like that. Mark Quen's shooting star press is a thing of beauty. The height he gets is so graceful and elegant. It's beautiful. Oh, I love that. I love it when he does that. But yeah, like I say, just fine for me. I liked nice finish. Went for gin and juice, hit the V trigger, avalanche, Liger bomb, and then hit that last call, which is a great tag team finisher. Combination of both of them moves. So like I say, it's really just fine. Like I say, probably just lack of investment that didn't get me quite into it.
Right.
And it felt a bit thrown together, didn't it?
I think that finisher, too, the way they hit them with that last call, it looked a little bit late on the back end of it. So it looked a little more brutal than it normally is. Sometimes it's like a pop, and they both kind of hit the same time. But this one was like a whap, and it's like, oh, gosh, man, that's not good. That's not good. Shout out to Mikey Ruckus here for Rise. Big shout out to our homie Mikey Ruckus here for that song, Rise. Dean, what'd you think of the song we heard? I don't know what you guys saw throughout your feed, but apparently Fyter Fest had a theme. And that theme was not clicking with Dean.
Yeah, because like I say, obviously, I don't see ad breaks on my feed because it's Fight, so you just see the logo. And they played this song. I must have heard it 8,000 times. It felt like an eternity. Like Mikey Ruckus, that not a very good name, but no, he might be a lovely fella, and I'll have a drink with him. He might be sound, but that song is not very good. Not very good, and it didn't even get it didn't grow on me. It just made me like, can I fast forward this, please?
Yeah, no, it was not an earbug. It wasn't one of those earbug songs where you're like, oh, this is kind of catchy. No, it was just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing is we rolled into the second match of the night here. The bad boy, Joey Janela, taking on the Murder Hawk. The Murder Hawk here we go. The monster, Lance Archer. As soon as I saw Janela alone, like as soon as Janela comes out alone, it's like, okay, we know Archer's gimmick. We know where this is going, right? Sure enough, Sunny Kiss over the shoulders, just KO'd. I wanted this to be one of those sick hardcore matches. I wanted this to be one of those brute force, just, what do you call those, what are the Benny Whackers or whatever they're calling them now? I don't know what the name is. I forgot now. But it's one of those big, super physical matches, and it's exactly what we got. Exactly what we got. There was, slobber knocker, exactly. Like a big bedlam, We had a super dive by Joey. The tables were coming out. It was just a great Haas match, I think, for Archer. It was just really what he needed in that regard. That blackout through the table, though, oh my God, I did to the outside of the ring. That move on itself is dangerous, right? That kind of reverse razor's edge. I was like, wow. But when he had him up in the corner, and I'm like, okay, there is a table down there, right? Like, this is exactly what Janela's wanting to take. And I remember Janela even, I watched the CZW show from this past weekend on July 4th, right? The backyard show we did. And he was saying, man, why did I ever jump off that warehouse, right? Why did I ever fall off that warehouse of the stupid company 3 years ago? And this has started all of this, because he's looking at these guys who are doing these brutal spots with hardcore stuff. So you got to think, like, when is the line, right? So you got to be able to do anything, anytime. I don't know if I could ever do that. But 1, 2, 3, Archer won off of that, and well-deserved, I think. I think this was what we expected. I would have loved to see Janela do a little bit more here, but obviously, that story is being told with Sunny Kiss. And I'm a fan of them as a tag team. So I think this is just a good spotlight for Janela. What'd you think, man?
Yeah, like I say, I enjoyed it. We're not special. Like I say, it's good for Archer to get a win. But at the beginning, when he pulled the table out, I'm like, hang on, is this an hardcore match? And then he went to grab the chair. I'm like, hang on, is it? But then the ref stopped him, and that allowed Archer to get back on top, didn't it? But I did like it. It was a good fun match. I liked the top rope senton, and then Sunny Kiss hitting the 450 splash, which, even though the faces, it didn't feel like cheating because it felt like, no, we owe you this. You just get him one up. So that were, nice, even from the faces. I like that bit. But yeah, just, I'd say no special. It just did a job. I think, like I say, it would have been better if it were a hardcore match, really. Yeah, so maybe they could have that match down the line. But yeah, it definitely would have helped, I think, as an equaliser for Joey to let him get a lot more in. But he did get some licks in. I mean, it didn't look bad. And like I say, we're finished in style. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good showing for sure. I thought it was a totally good showing here for sure. Then of course we had later on here. This is man. This show is just getting so polarizing because it was so underwhelming for some, and it was just like wow for others. And of course, we're talking about Taz and Brian Cage coming out and making this big announcement. Taz hyping this thing up to me was a mistake. They obviously couldn't have the championship match this week. They're doing it next week. We've seen them drag this on with their promos now for weeks. So where else could they go with it? I was really hoping, like we talked about before the show, I would have loved if Taz said, I have a challenge for you, Cage. If you can beat and just bring out every fucking jobber they have, every enhancement talent, every indie wrestler in Florida, have them on the stage. And he says, if you can run this gauntlet, I've got something to present to you. And then he does it, man. Just some of them are just elbows, you know what I mean? Some of these are just jobbers, man. Like, just job them out. And afterwards, he gets the title, right? This FTW title, which, again, something that I, being a wrestling fan, I want to believe that I've seen this belt as a belt collector, the FTW title. I did not know what the relevance of it was. I thought it was something Taz related, and it was obviously, very ECW related. But again, the reveal to me kind of fell a little bit flat. But I guess it's sort of the wrestling equivalent of like the BMF title, right? The bad motherfucker belt in the UFC. And then Taz kept, this is some renegade shit. This is some renegade shit. And it's like, were they not allowed to bring up the fact that him and Sabu, can they not mention Sabu's name? Did they not want to? I don't know what the deal was with that. But the thing felt a little bit flat to me. What do you think, Dean?
Yeah, I thought this was really lame. Like, really lame. Because it's like, he shouldn't have to walk into a Fight for the Fallen next week without a title. It's like, no, but the whole point is to walk out with a title. That's the point. So it's like, he said, he's going to get a title because he might not win. And if he does win, is he going to hold both up? And surely the focus should be getting the actual gold. Yeah. So it just felt so flat for me. So I just thought this was lame. And after good work that they've been doing, this were like, naff. It were like, just giving you a participation trophy almost. Like, but
that's exactly it, right? That's exactly it.
So I want a fan of this. I just thought it was lame, and like that's the last thing we're going to see him it's technically their go home show for that match. But yeah.
John, honestly, I didn't know, man. I saw what happened was I've got to be better on this kind of stuff, especially with something like Fyter Fest. I was sloppy. I saw my Instagram before I watched the program, so I actually saw the post of the unveiling before I saw that what it was. So I didn't actually know. So I already knew ahead of time. To me, this solidified that Moxley's going to win next week. Yeah, man, for sure. Absolutely.
That's how I felt as well, yeah. That's how I felt. Like, why would he need this? Like, say the focus should be the fact that he doesn't need to walk in with a belt because he's going to walk out with one.
Yeah.
So, like, if he loses, is he going to keep this belt? Is it then a loser's belt? You know, I really don't understand this.
Yeah, and that's exactly, you know what they could have done is a good way to introduce the FTW title if they're going to do this is if Brian Cage has to lose next week at Fight for the Fallen against Moxley, then the week after do that jobber gauntlet thing. And then Taz can say, hey man, you're my champ. Never mind their belt. You couldn't get theirs. You're my fucking champ. And now you represent this thing. But putting the cart in front of the horse here, I think is what they did. And I think they fucked up. So, I don't know. It's not a really good showing here because, I mean, AEW, since we've started the series, like 7 weeks ago, whatever it's been, has been fucking solid. And for them to come out like this is a really big misstep, especially on what's supposed to be a pay-per-view caliber week here, or 2 weeks. Again, I think they spread themselves too thin, and I love AEW, man. It's hurting me to say that, but I really think they spread themselves too thin. But we did get some really wicked shit here this week, though. We did. We saw some pretty cool stuff here, like Butcher, Blade, and the Lucha Brothers tagging up against the Young Bucks and FTR. This was a big one. This was kind of like a big one because it's like, is it too big? Is it too mashed together? You know what I mean? Like, is there too much going on? Too many moving parts here? It's like, we don't want them to feud with one team, so we're going to have them feud with two, and there's a whole big dynamic. Like, I get it. They're putting an emphasis on tag team wrestling, but I think this was a little bit too busy. They've already set up Lucha Bros versus FTR next week, right? So they've already set that up. I think that should have been the match here. I don't know if the Bucks could have taken on Butcher and Blade on their own or how that could have played out. But, I mean, honestly, I thought it was energetic right here. Looking at my notes here, they're sharing tag finishers right away. So FTR and Bucks are a great team. They were showing very, very good teamwork together there. Crazy double tag team moves, double suplexes into splashes, that senton. There was kind of a late break in that pin after that splash and senton, I thought. Seeing that Canadian Destroyer out of the ring was fucking crazy. That was fucking crazy. And that's the kind of shit you can do with guys like this, you know? That's the kind of shit you can do with guys like this. And I sort of get that. But then at the same time, I want to see some storytelling here. I don't want the storytelling to only exist in the promos before the matches. I want them to tell a story in the match. But all these matches are feeling like spot fests, right? It's just feeling like set this up, let's get this, let's get that. But I want there to be more of a story here. But again, that was a fucking crazy move. The LB driver, okay, Jesus, man, that Lucha Brothers driver it's like a pedigree that's assisted by his brother. So he just slams him in there. Phoenix just slams him down. And it's like, that's sick, man. That's absolutely sick. So we saw Matt taking the pin for that one. I do like that the miscommunication led to the loss. So I'm hoping that like I said, with that story there, I think they're trying to tell that story anyways of the Bucks and FTR. So I think that's going to come into play. But what did you think of this one, man? There was a lot going on, a lot of moving parts.
Like you say, chaos is probably the best way to describe it. Like, I was excited for this one because of the talent in the ring. But I think, like you say, I think there's that many tag teams now that just need us to throw a load together. I did. The first thing I thought was poor ref, because, like, I didn't know we were legal half the time. Did you? And I thought, exactly. We'll say FTR, that's a big part of their gimmick and stuff. It's like, there were people all over, so it were like, so that was a weird one. I did like the teamwork between FTR and the Young Bucks. Like, they're both a partner of each team hit their signature moves, didn't they? So we had like Nick and was it Cash Wheeler hitting the Midnight Express and such like that. Yeah. And I think they do the Meltzer driver with one. So that was kind of good. Yeah. And like you say, that Canadian Destroyer from inside to outside on everyone. Woo. Woo. Mm-hmm. And like you say, even though a bit of miscommunication, that was Lucha Bros won that clean. Yes, yeah. It was clean. It was a clean win. Yeah. And I think Lucha Bros are awesome. I think they should be the team who I think they should have kept them separate from FTR really, and they should be the team that go towards Hangman and Page really, and let your Young Bucks and FTR do their story. For me, I just think that's great. But But yeah, to say that FTR's part of their gimmick, the rules were, you know, you can hit ref counting to 10, but it don't matter because there were even a bit where Butcher pinned someone.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're not the legal man, and no one knew who. They're all looking around. Well, who is? I don't know.
And that's exactly right. Well, who's going to tell us, right? Who's going to tell us?
But,
so it is.
But like you say, Elfie driver, boom. That is a mean finisher. That.
Yeah.
Like you say, their arms are hooked. So Matt Jackson has to put all his faith in them, and I'll let you go into it because they are absolute pros, like, you know. But it looks devastating. It looks devastating.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like I say, I was excited for it, and I don't know if it quite delivered because, like you say, it was a bit chaotic, but it was kind of fun. But like you say, a bit of a spot fest. But there was some good, some bad. But overall, it did its job. But I don't know what its job was because.
I don't know.
Well, I do, you know what I mean? But I mean, like, on this card, you know, it's like you say, it's supposed to be a pay-per-view effect, technically. Right. So it's like, yeah. So far, up until this point, it just felt like a quite an average episode of Dynamite up until this point so far.
Right.
For me.
And that was it, yeah, and that was it. It didn't have that feel at all of it being a big event. There were, like, where are the guests? Where's the, you know, like, show us some backstage stuff. Like, there's so much wrestling on Dynamite already. Dynamite is like the Snickers chocolate bar of pro wrestling shows, where you just get full because there's so much to eat in there. It's so thick, right? There's so much to go through. So it's just like you want something kind of like Raw, where it's like an Arrow, where it's like half air, right? It's just kind of like, oh, this is kind of light, right? I can casually watch this. I can do something. I can take this in. I can do this. But there's so much wrestling. I find myself rewinding all the time when I'm watching Dynamite. So that's why I would have loved to see if they're going to do these weekly shows that are kind of specials, like Fight for the Fallen or Fyter Fest. Maybe make a little bit more of a thing, even if it's just a host or there's some kind of a different feel to the appeal or to the presentation. I mean, that'd be something.
Like I say, it's interesting with Fight for the Fallen. That's like 3 weeks on bounce without Dynamite in Dynamite slot.
Yeah.
So. You know, I don't know. They could have just done a special. Could have done a special episode that went on a weekend or something. I don't know.
But yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, couldn't they just tape it and then like show it on a Saturday or something? Like, make an event out of it. Like,
is the name Fyter Fest relevant anymore? Either like, I mean, I could understand it last year parodying the Fyter Fest because there were documentaries and such. But like this year, is that relevant? The people even that's something you could easily miss. Yeah. Not a lot of people actually know what Fyter Fest is. And so like, is it relevant again?
They didn't do another one.
Are they going to do it for the next 10 years, or this is Fyter Fest? So where does that come from? You know, I think they should have had a different name as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It could have totally been some other kind of springy thing. I know they want to try to make their own stuff, but at the same time, well, I think it's one of those situations where they kind of would have been fucked if they didn't, fucked if they didn't. Because if they didn't bring it back, it would have been like, oh, where's the continuity? There would have been people chiming in for that. But I agree with you in that Fyter Fest was based off of a fucking meme. And so it's like, if anything, it could have been like, you know, I mean, let's maybe not like name an event after COVID. That wouldn't fly. But you know what I'm saying, though, right? Like, you know, call it something. There's got to be something around.
Well, they've got all out. They've got double or nothing. They've got consistency there. So you can have one of the, you know, small amount of pay-per-views to have a different theme every year or a different name, or like say, even if you want a parody, like you say, something that's relevant. But I suppose nothing's happened thanks to COVID, has it? So we'll do Fyter for one more year.
Yeah, well, that's kind of it. Maybe they're just in a holding pattern because of COVID, right? So who knows? But then so we saw Big Swole outside. That's pretty funny how she's like, you couldn't just send me a fax. You know what I mean? You couldn't have just sent me a fax. Pick up the phone here. Like, she came all the way to work to be told she wasn't allowed in. If she got suspended even. I think she was saying the word suspended, I think. So I think it's a good way for them to draw out this feud to keep her off. But I would have given her somebody else in the meantime. You know what I mean? Give her somebody else in the meantime rather than just take her out of the equation. But I thought from her standpoint, though, if I showed up to work and they told me I was locked out, I would definitely be like, look, I came all the way out here. I'm coming in. You know, I'm coming back here. You haven't seen the last of me.
But again, this was a Dynamite thing, not a pay-per-view special show thing. This is a Dynamite little segment filler. Like you say, we're aware of Big Swole, we're aware of Britt Baker. We don't need that plate spinning while this is going on. You know?
Fuck, I love that I love the way you talk. We don't need that plate spinning. Fuck, it's so true though. I hear what you're saying. That's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, exactly, man. It's one of those things where it just felt like it got in the way, you know? Because you've already got Tony acknowledging Britt Baker 40 times a night. So like, just give it a break with that one. But it was a good segue here into to Nyla Rose and her announcement and the match she had against two opponents, so we didn't know. So we saw KPH and Kylan King taking on Nyla Rose, and oh my gosh, man, KPH just getting tossed around. I love that huge power bomb she did onto KPH onto King. So that was the second time we've seen that there. That move, that double pin was sick. Nyla's announcement, of course, that she's got a manager, but she won't reveal it yet. And boy, she was really gassed out during that interview, though. You know what I mean? Like, maybe give them a little bit of a break or something for the promo. But so she's got a manager, but it's like, but who is it? We don't know when we're gonna find out. Maybe, like there's this. I don't know. It seemed kind of sloppy to me. I don't know. I don't even know if the match was okay or not. It was just kind of like an obvious squash for this announcement. I would have liked to see some more involvement from Shida other than just standing there. Maybe they could have made it more dynamic. I don't know how. But again, like you said, it was sort of just maybe lackluster for me. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you wrote the names down because I just put Nyla Rose versus her two victims because you knew she was just going to like just destroy them and smash them about. But again, this was very dynamite.
To get them.
This was very dynamite. Like this shouldn't be on this. This is a special event, and like the announcement for me was like, well, why? You were the women's champion. You are dominant. With no doubt, there's no doubt in my mind that you can get that belt back by yourself. You don't need a manager at all. And then when she's like, oh, this person's got a manager champion. This person has got a manager, as in Brian Cage, and has just been given. That don't count. He's just give him a belt of his. That doesn't count. That helps. You know what I mean? That belt don't mean anything. So that like the two examples she used. But yeah, she doesn't need a manager at all. At all. So I just thought, well, why? Like I say, it's not like, all right, I need a manager, then I'll get to be the champion. No, you've just been the champion and you were dominant. And you had an incredible match to lose. I don't doubt for a second you're good enough on your own to get it. And I think she works better on her own. So I don't know what it is. Obviously, they didn't tell us who the manager was. So it'll have to be something pretty special. I just hope it's not going to fall flat when it's just like, who could it be?
Well, I think they're trying to, as much as she's acknowledging the title picture and saying she wants a manager to be champion, I think the manager is to keep her away from the title for now. I don't know. I think they want to give some air there to it. I think they put it on her too fast. They kind of paint themselves into a circle, but now Shida's got it, so they can kind of let that happen for a bit. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. But who do you think the manager might be?
Do you think it'll be someone we've already seen, or like someone who they're going to bring in someone fresh? I know, like the commentary were reeling off all the managers that already exist, but I don't know if they'll have multiple clients, or they could go down that route, I guess. But I mean, I suppose it's got to be a reveal now. Now it is a reveal. What do you think, John? What's your thoughts on it? But yeah, now it's a reveal. It's got to be a decent reveal, otherwise it's like,
yeah.
But like you say, I think storyline wise, they can keep. She's got no friends, has she? So it's like at least I'll have someone to interact with, like you say, story away from the title. So that's why they've done it, just to keep her busy in that regard. But as for manager, I ain't got a clue who it could be. I saw Penelope Ford going,
baby. It's
not me.
Tully. 4 fucking horsemen, man. They're bringing them back. Sean Spears. Nyla Rose is going to be a part of it. It's part of the female contingent. I think they're going to bring in 2 more guys to be with like a triple threat. It'd be cool if it was 2 men and 2 women. That'd be super dope for the new horsemen. I think that'd be pretty cool. But we'll see, because I know Sean Spears is starting it up, right? Because I like what you said about how it could be somebody who's already existing. So you have like sort of like a Paul Heyman guy situation where it's like a stable. It's like that manager's stable, right? So who knows? I mean, it could even be like, she wouldn't go Nightmare Family. Maybe Inner Circle, but she got Jericho as a manager. That'd be cool.
Well, Sean Spears were looking. I know they said, "Oh, well, you're not looking for a tag partner anywhere." But I mean, Sean Spears could team with Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose can take on anyone. She's strong enough. So,
they've already been building that mixed tag team division too, right? So they've already got that going on.
Well, like I said, but is that enough of a reveal to stall it and not tell you who it is? Is it going to come across as a big deal? Because at the end of the day, it's always cool, but Sean Spears is, and I don't mean this in a bad way, a loser, effectively. Overall.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
No, maybe someone from outside. Could be someone from outside. Someone we haven't seen yet at all.
Yeah, totally could be. No, it absolutely could be. Wow. And we got to see Colt with his massive bruising there. Jeez, man. Jeez, Colt Cabana is just feeling it here. Hey, holy smokes, Colt is feeling it here. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is interesting. Here we go. Before we move on from the manager there. Okay. Awesome Kong would be a good manager for sure. Beasts, right? Like just monsters, man. Absolute
Well, she
monsters.
signed, and obviously with the Nightmare Collective thing going away, she hadn't got out to doing that, and so that could work. Yeah. So like I was a beast, so I'll pass on my beastly wisdom to the future beast. Do you know what I mean? So a bit Marcy.
Yeah.
Sorry, cat's messing about down here. But yeah, so that good idea, John. That could be.
I'm down for that one for sure.
Yeah.
So then Colt Cabana though, with the "you got it, Mr. Brody" stuff, man. Wow, dude, Colt is fully. I think he's seeing the benefits of being in the Dark Order here. I think Colt Cabana is making the right decisions. So I don't know. Dark Order, SCU. Fuck, I had my man. I have a Colt Cabana bandana. It's Cabana-rama, it says, right? And I was like, fuck, I'm wearing it for the show, man. I'm gonna show it. And I just like totally spaced until I saw his name, and I'm like, oh, Colt, oh, son of a bitch. All right. So we got Grayson. We have Brody Lee. We have Colt Cabana versus SCU. Huge pyros for SCU, man. SCU definitely one of the backbones here. I think they're showing definitely this is a good established team to build off of that foundation. It's really hard to match the chemistry of SCU just because of how long they've been together and just how well they work together, But then that being said, though, on the other hand, I love seeing Cabana. He's so seasoned. He's so quick. That quick style. He's got such a quick style for somebody who's not a small man. He's not a huge guy, but he's also not small. He's like thick with 2 C's, right? A thick boy, I think is what we could call him.
Pigeon-chested, innit?
Yeah. Brody blasting with that discus lariat there, instructing Stu to take the pin or to tag in Colt. I like how right here, those Grayson and Cabana were exchanging words earlier in the match here. Like Stu isn't fully sold on him, right? He's like, hey man, get with the program, dude. Like you need to get in here. Where are you, right? Like get with this. Because you need to be, right? I think you need to be. And even I see that as a good, and that could be a good vehicle for them taking a loss, right? Is that Colt isn't fully sold on this whole bad boy life, or he's not fully into it yet. And there's a little bit of hesitation, and that could easily cost them a win. But it didn't this match at all, because Brody blasts that fucking discus lariat. And like I said, Colt gets another pin. And then they mentioned it even, that since he's walked into the office of Mr. Brody Lee and joined the Dark Order, he hasn't lost a match. So that's results. That's what we talked about weeks ago, like a month ago, when we said, what is Brody Lee going to do now? Is he just going to be bringing in losers? Well, he's making winners out of them, right? So this is what we thought was going to happen is happening.
I think when he addressed the pre-match bit, and obviously he's getting done over looked at by the doctor and they say he's cleared. But then they're saying, oh, this happened last week. And then you've got Brody Lee saying, oh, when you were with me by my side, this sort of thing won't happen. It's like, no, it did. He's been with you for weeks. It did happen last week. And then you go, oh, and we don't know what it was. So you don't even know what it did happen It did happen while he's next to you. So what are you talking about? So that didn't make any sense. And then we saw Darby Allin earlier on do a coffin drop. We've seen him flipping off ladders, off skateboards, and he's not cleared. Half of this guy's body's bruised, and it's like, yeah, all right, But I really didn't like this. I feel like you're on about SCU with Pyro and stuff. I think they were massively overlooked in this. This was a Dark Order storyline, and SCU were there just to fuel it. SCU just didn't get anything in this. We're all about the Dark Order's dynamic. But I really don't like the Colt stuff because there's a point where they're like, oh, pin him. It's like he doesn't know how to wrestle. You shouldn't have to tell Colt Cabana how to pin somebody. They shouldn't have to tell him when to hit people. I don't know, man. I don't know all the stuff.
It's a Colt Cabana reboot is what it is.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know the dynamics of wrestling. Like the Scorpio guy's down and he's looking, what do I do? What do I do? Pin him. Okay, I'll pin him. 4 hours later, of course he's going to kick out. So it didn't make any, I don't know, man. SCU were the first tag team champions, man, and they're just there so you can have this little story. I've got one positive from this. Stu Grayson is amazing. That man is fantastic. He is so good. So he super athletic. His selling's amazing. Stu Grayson is a star. But so I feel like I've been hating on this show. And that's a word I never use, but I haven't really, I feel like it was an episode of Dynamite and an average one as well. But so I don't know. There were a lot I didn't like about this, really, especially the pre-match. That just seems so daft to me. What's this?
It's just occurred to me, says John, though he's teaming with Sonny Kiss right now since he always loses and seeming to get down about it, do you see Joey eventually joining the Dark Order?
No, I'd like to keep him away from that, really. I mean, like you say, we don't want just constant losers, and then it's just like stories of constant losers, and then turn them into winners. It's like, I don't know, Joey though. He's like he's one of them. He don't need to win. He's a bit like Darby Allin, a bit like that sort of thing. It's like just they're entertaining and they've got heart, man. That's what his match with Archer were about. It was just about heart and grit, and he's not going to give up. You're going to have to finish me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll say Stu Grayson's the one positive for this from that for me. I'm not against the story, Colt Cabana, but they need to stop acting like he's an idiot who doesn't know how to wrestle and hasn't got a career. Yeah, man. So I don't know. I'm being told how to wrestle.
Yeah, like, are they making Colt stronger through any of this? No. You know what I mean? Like, they're just making Brody look more influential is all they're doing. They're not helping
I think Colt looks lame.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. Colt should definitely be showing more of his prowess here.
Like
I said, he's so fucking seasoned, right? He's a veteran of the ring, so he should definitely be showing what he's got. Then we previewed Fight for the Fallen here. They showed a preview here on the stream I saw. So we showed the open challenge next week for the TNT Championship. Cody is going to put on his title, Cody, the Throne Breaker. Wrestling can have more than one royal family, Cody is going to be there. Cody. And then we got Lucha Brothers taking on FTR. That's going to be a really good one. I cannot fucking wait for that one. That's going to be awesome. And then we got the Elite taking on Jurassic Express. Another one, man. I just saw Jurassic Express's Instagram post where they're like, this is it. Fighting the absolute best in the world here. You got the Young Bucks. You got Kenny Omega. That's a crazy combination. Fight for the Fallen seems like more of a pay-per-view on its own already than both weeks of Fyter Fest. They're like, what the fuck? Is Fyter Fest supposed to be shitty just like Fyre Fest was? Is that the whole fucking gag? I don't know. And so to round off Fight for the Fallen, though, to round off this 4-match extreme fucking card, is Jon Moxley losing his title to Brian Cage.
Does he get given the FTW title then as a prize? There you go, it's John. Like you've lost that, but have this, have this lame belt here, so at least you got something to put on your shoulder.
Yeah, have the participation medal. Here you go. We saw Big Swole coming back, attacking Britt Baker there, breaking her nose, and then Britt freaking out because her nose got broken. And again, it just speaks to it again of, okay, we know this is already going on. We're very aware of the fact that these two have a program going on, so we don't need to be beaten over the head with it every single week. Main event time. This has been highly, highly hyped. I thought it was a great match myself. I really enjoyed it. But man, oh man, was this ever pushed to be like the be-all, end-all of matches by a lot of people here. I'm surprised they didn't even just call it the greatest wrestling match of all time. OC sending the best friends away. I thought that was really cool. Right off at the bat here, OC just keeping the pressure on him. Hey, what's up? Psst, 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 psst.
That's Massimo making a cameo again. 2 weeks on Bounce. Check it out.
That's it. That's what it's about. We're gonna have to change the name of the show now. Fuck, we're gonna have to add another M in here. We're gonna have to add another letter here. But I love that Chris just mocking OC. OC, great spot here where he tricked Chris with that weak kick and then just super kicked the shit out of him. I thought this match was really well told by both guys. This is what I want to see in wrestling matches, is this story being told here. Like obviously this was a disrespect that Chris had for OC, and it just, as the match goes on, you just see him earning it back from him. Jericho missing that corner kick, flew over the rope, man. Holy shit. That is like a spot where you really, man, Chris taking those over the ropes, those rope spots. Then that 6 Phoenix splash that OC did onto all the guys there. That was really wicked, of that dive over the ropes. Best friends come back out. Fucking OC kicked. I could not believe when he pulled out Floyd and he blasted him with that bat, and then that hit him with the code breaker, and OC kicked out. It's like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, I thought that was a finish.
That was nuts, man. That was fucking crazy. But again, I think this ended the way it was supposed to. I love Chris Jericho. I can't say anything else about that. What do you think about the match, man?
I really enjoyed this match. I think this match was better than the entire show put together, really. I think it's because I was invested in it. I wanted to see it. I'm a big fan of both these guys. And I liked how Chris wasn't taking it seriously, but OC was. And when he come out at the beginning, he took his sunglasses off before he even went in, which normally they get knocked off him, don't they? But he put them away. Said to guys, go back. I want to do this on my own. Yeah. And that shows you, with Jericho, he kept Santana and Ortiz out with him. and they were doing a lot of posing, a lot of mocking at the beginning. But like you say, you hit the nail on the head when you said it. He turned that around and earned his respect. And like, when they threw the orange juice in his face and then he hit him with a bat after the distraction and the code breaker, I thought that was the finish. I genuinely thought that was the finish. And to protect OC, so get him to kick out of that and then keep going. That were great. So I really enjoyed this match. Orange Cassidy's fantastic. Like you say, his gimmick is he's not lazy, but as soon as he starts doing stuff, he's rapid, he's so fast and fluid. And everything hits from impacts. That diving DDT looks awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And that Stun Dog Millionaire, that's fantastic. With the swinging, I think at the end, he went for the Superman punch, didn't he?
Yeah.
Straight into the Judas effect, which were good because, like, Cassidy were on top there. Because I think he hit the Slumdog Millionaire, then he hit a swinging DDT, and then he were as if he were going for to finish him with a Superman punch. And then it was like the Judas effect out of nowhere. So, like, obviously that move's put over super, super strong.
Yeah.
So I think, like you say, I think he earned Jericho's respect in the match. I think even though Cassidy lost, his stock is through the roof now. Like anyone who I had a lot of friends like were like, oh, they don't get his gimmick. But I think it's a case of you need to see him actually properly wrestle. It's like it's always been little bits, his little lazy kicks he does, but like now, especially lately, he's been putting effort in.
Yeah.
And looking awesome, like I say, he's got such a good moveset. Such a good moveset. You see that? Oh, just see that spot win. No, you know, when normally at barriers, you'll throw someone up and you'll land up midriff. Right. You know, falling forward. But he spun him round in the air and he landed on his kidneys effectively. That looks brutal.
Right. Yeah.
And then later on the dive when he threw him into the barriers, like head first, he takes some beating, man. He takes some licks. And like you said, a lot of truth in Jericho's promo about, I would just think, oh no, he's no, but over's over and he's earned my respect. That were like his verbal way of saying it, whereas this you saw the physical embodiment of that, of him earning his respect. And so I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this. Like I say, big fan of both guys. And I'm glad this ended it because it give me a nice plus because, like I say, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing it because obviously everyone knows we love AEW. We love it.
Yeah.
And it's like, overall, I thought you take this out of the equation, I think it's probably one of the weakest episodes of Dynamite they've done without it being Dynamite. Right. Not that they want good points in it. But yeah, I just thought it was a nice way to end the show. And you always get a bit, Aubrey, actually, she there's always a bit of dynamic with her and Jericho, isn't there? So when he was cheating and holding on to the ropes and that, she kicked his arm away and that actually got Orange Cassidy on top for a bit, didn't it? So I do like that. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this match. But like I say, I think investment is key. Like I say, I think I was excited for like the big tag match, with all the teams.
Yeah.
But again, we haven't had much story to get us super invested in the dynamic of them all. Like Lucha Bros were just thrown in at last minute almost, wasn't it? It's just like, what do you do? But yeah. Overall, I think weakest show for me, but I did really like the main event. And like I say, single little bits here and there. I think of the show overall.
I think I would have liked it more, the Nyla Rose segment, if they had not posed it to be her versus her in action or who versus who. Yeah. If they just came out last week and had KPH and the other one there, whatever her name was, the two girls. Yeah, exactly. Victim number 2. If they came out last week and cut a promo about, hey, we can do it. You know what I mean? Like, she's not this unstoppable monster. We're gonna do it. Both of us can do it. Alone we couldn't, but together we can. Give them a little bit of heart. Give them a little bit of story, and it just seemed like a needless squash. And if it was just gonna be a needless squash, then give us a big announcement. Give us something of meat, of some substance to chew on. But you didn't give us a match to chew on, and then you didn't give us an announcement to chew on. I don't know why I'm harping on this Nyla Rose segment. I just wanted it to be big, I guess.
Yeah, give us the manager right there and there, make it worth it. But like you say, when I first saw that Nyla Rose in action, it's like, no, this is supposed to be a pay-per-view type show. You don't just, that's a Dynamite thing. You don't just have someone in action.
You don't have enhancement talent on a pay-per-view, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so so I don't know. Like you say, at least give us the manager or something that we could have had something to make it feel like, this is why it's here.
Yeah, she's saying we can't judge these events pay-per-viewness right now, but hope they're better next time. But I mean, like,
We
but
can't judge
then,
him in Dynamite either. It's supposed to be more than Dynamite. That's what I'm
yeah,
coming at it from. I understand it's like you say, it's not full pay-per-view and such. And obviously, Fyter Fest would have been one night and they would have had the best of all these things over a few
yes,
hours as opposed to, but, so I don't know, like saying with a title match being dropped, that's not their fault. But yeah, it's supposed to be more than Dynamite. And it
yeah,
felt like a
exactly.
crap Dynamite. You know what I
What
mean?
a
So,
fucking thing to say, though, right? It's supposed to be more than Dynamite. Dynamite's huge. Dynamite in itself as a thing, actual Dynamite is fucking explosive, right? So what's more explosive than Dynamite, right? What's more explosive than Dynamite? It's supposed to be the top. Ah, for fuck's sake.
TNT.
There you go. Bang. Oh, man. Dean, so Fighter Night, round 2, what'd you think? Overall,
Friday night were great.
the Fighter Fest here, Fighter Fest. They're saying that you're supposed to leave them going home happy, and I mean we went home happy for sure. But
Yeah,
was it enough?
They saved it at the end.
But was it enough?
2 stars, mate. 2 out of 5 for me.
Wow, 2.
Genuinely,
Yeah,
like I would like. I'd say a lot of it. I don't know. So I really enjoyed the main event, but like you say, it was still a match that don't really mean too much in the grand scale of things. So, like I say, obviously, we'd have had the world title fight at the end. You know what I mean? And then this before it. Then the whole second half of the show is pure gold, and we're like buzzing. So I don't know. Like I say, it's not against them. Like I say, they're that good that it's like when they're just in middle, it feels.
Well, it was bad. It was a bad showing tonight, but it was still good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's like that's a
AEW is
testament
like
to them. That it's
pizza.
like, yeah. So like I say, their average shows are still really, really good. It's just that we put them in such high regard now, and we've had so much quality off them. But like I say, yeah, there are no. It wasn't a bad show, but if you can compare it, then maybe it will.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, I'm sure it was still better than Raw and SmackDown this week. I don't know about NXT. I have to go back and watch that NXT title versus title match. Keith Lee versus Adam Cole. That looked awesome, man. That looked awesome. So that's definitely my little bit of homework there that I'm going to be doing. But yeah, man, other than that, I mean, I'm looking forward to next week. Like we said, it's going to be a big one there. They've got Fight for the Fallen happening. They're doing some COVID relief funds there for that. That's great. And like I said, it's looking like a super strong. It's almost looking like the card this should have been. You know, it looks like this. It should have been. It's like their do-over, I hope. And I'm willing to give it to them, 100%.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely looking forward to that title match. I'm looking forward to that. But like I say, I think what John said were right earlier. Giving him that belt feels like he's not going to win.
Yep.
I just think it was confusing, that whole belt thing. It was so lame. It took a bit of sting off how excited I am for that match.
It did.
You know what I mean?
It really did. Yeah,
it really has. Yeah, it really has. And it's like,
like
that's another reason why this show's crap. Let's forget about it. Let's get it on. But main event, Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy, fantastic. But yeah, everything else.
Next time, we're just not going to review a bad Dynamite. If you don't see a Dynamite video, it's because we didn't like it.
Well, hopefully that won't happen ever again.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. If this is the lowest point they ever have, then they're in very good shape. Very good shape.
Like you said it, but I guarantee it will better than Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah,
so
100%. No matter how much you did or didn't like this, I know John enjoyed this very much more than we did, for sure. John enjoys everything, man. John's just a fucking rad guy. So John enjoys everything.
Legend.
I don't know if we can say John enjoys everything though. I don't want to put him in that, paint him with that, pigeonhole him like that. Now he's like, fuck, I have to like everything now. Awesome.
Thanks for getting involved though, John. You too, Shannon, man. You too.
Yes, for sure. Love you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of the program today. Thank you everybody for watching. Whenever you're watching, if you're watching, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Myself, I'm Dezzie. Over there is Dean. You guys have a great week, and we will see you next time for AEW Dynamite Triple D, baby. Boom.
Peace and love.